you feel like what y'all have together is genuine and real, but really they're using you as an emotional quote unquote band-aid. El Fuego. I had somebody comment on one of the things. Is that Fuego? I swear to God.
Bro, I'm starting to see it on my videos too. They commented like,
Is that?
wait, aren't you on all the Queens? Oh, Fuego, like you so... Like all this stuff, they recognize me.
And then I got I think it was a comment on YouTube where someone was like, one of my clients or something has been telling me, hey girl, you gotta watch All the Queen's Men. And I've been binge watching it, and then I also watch your podcast, and then all of a sudden it just clicked that you're from All the Queen's Men.
Oh, it just clicked for her? That's
yeah, dude.
That is funny.
Dude, we got so much positive feedback on that episode we did.
I know we did.
The last episode we did.
Yeah, I know. The one we just did.
As of recording this today, we hit number 30 on the podcast charts under comedy.
That's amazing.
Shit, we in the top 50.
That's what's up, bro.
Shit. Well, it's all because of the fans, baby. It's all because of the fans, bro. Man. How should we intro this?
What was something that you just did that was exciting?
What do you mean, bro? All I do is fucking sit here, edit videos, post on social media, and go live and shit. Should we just fucking just get right into the episode? Fuck the flow. Let's just get into it. We've been sitting here trying to figure out how do we fucking flow into this, warm up into this, like,
right.
You know,
overthinking as
with the overthinking like a motherfucker. You know, fuck. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another motherfucking episode of the Stripped Down Podcast.
Yo, I'm crying right now.
Fuck. Let's cut the fluff, motherfucker. Let's get straight into the chicanery that we're about to address.
He said we don't even need no microwave.
There's been some chicanery.
The entree is already hot on the plate.
We're going straight into it, ladies. Fuck.
They're like, what is y'all talking about? But I'm here for that energy. Yes.
Let's fucking go. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, motherfucker. What you doing?
Right.
It's somewhere over here. Somewhere in this vicinity.
Yes.
If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, fucking subscribe, damn it. Shit. Hey, no pressure.
Do it.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure, but I will come find you. If I find out you ain't subscribed.
Like that Liam Neeson Taken.
I will find you, and I will make you hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's absolutely free, damn it. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss nothing that's part of these goddamn intros. Shit. So ladies and gentlemen, we've been getting tagged in a ton of stuff and we've been honestly answering a lot of questions along the lines of what's going on with this dude, or why is he, you know, he's telling me one thing and then all of a sudden a couple weeks later he's feeling completely different or whatever, or vice versa. They change up in some way, you know, and this can apply to a bunch of different scenarios. I see this same pattern arising over and over and over again during the live streams, which, by the way, we do live streams very regularly here over on Instagram and on YouTube, where we address a lot of these things live. We respond to certain comments, questions, videos that y'all tag us in from TikTok or whatever. So make sure you're following our Instagram and our YouTube. So wherever you're listening to us from, go over there real quick, pause this, follow on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, so y'all can be a part of that.
That part.
So one of the common things that I've noticed is people are being used and are using others as emotional motherfucking band-aids.
It's a vicious cycle.
Hey,
it's a vicious
we've
cycle.
all been guilty of this to some degree. We're no saints in this department. We've also been victims of this behavior ourselves.
Yeah, emotional band-aid.
have.
That's a perfect description.
Yeah, and it's basically when somebody who's going through something, trying to fill a void of some sort, you know, trying to get over something, you guys meet, and then all of a sudden you feel like what y'all have together is genuine and real, but really they're using you as an emotional quote unquote band-aid. And that's no bueno. That's no bueno. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, both genders are guilty of this, because I've been used as an emotional band-aid in the past, and I've been somebody who has used others as emotional band-aid to try to get over a heartbreak. You know, not even realizing like that's what I was doing at that time. You know, or even knowing like I'm not in no condition to enter this relationship, but I'm so desperate to mask these emotions, to, you know, get rid of these emotions that are going on inside of me, that I'm looking for every option, everything that I'm trying everything I possibly can to numb that emotion that I'm going through. I'm going to try to see what's going to work. You know what I mean? Because I'm desperate for some sort of like mending of this emotion that I'm dealing with.
Got you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all relate to this to some sort of degree. If you've ever been through some sort of heartbreak before in the past, any sort of disappointment that really hit home and was heavy on you, you may have went out on the town and, you know, I'm going to find somebody to hook up with tonight. I'm going to find somebody to, you know, connect with tonight. The first person that shows me attention, I'm going to feed into that because I need something to numb this pain that I'm dealing with. Can y'all relate to that? If you can, leave us a comment describing whatever that situation was, so that way we can have some other alternative perspectives to whatever it is that we're gonna give y'all here. We're gonna be very open with y'all on this episode. We're hoping that you can look at this from a lens of trying to understand. That way, when you face it again in the future, you can be more aware of it and spot it when you see it. And also be conscious of it within yourself if you're in a situation where you are acting as somebody who is using somebody else as an emotional band-aid. Okay, so Rome, can you recall a time where you've used somebody as an emotional band-aid, or you've been used as an emotional band-aid, or when you were pursuing a relationship for something other than actually like genuinely building a genuine connection?
Yeah. I think you hit it on the nail when you said to some degree everyone has experienced it. And if there's any relation that I can recall that comes close to it, even if it's not 100% used or been used as an emotional band-aid, I guess it comes down to the fact of, yes, I got split with a relationship in the past. This is actually in Dallas days, to be honest. And it was just something where I always told myself that I didn't necessarily want to deal with any baggage, no matter what the stakes were, that I always wanted to live in peace. I've always wanted to sort of block out and, just like you said, suppress any hurt, sadness, anger, shame that you feel going through breakups. Because the thing is, you spend history with somebody, you have all this time spent, you have all of this energy spent, all these thoughts, all these emotions that is evident, within a relationship, regardless if you're only in it for a little bit or for a long time. But when I broke up, split with a past relationship, automatically I wanted to just sort of maybe find somebody else so that I didn't have to deal with none of that. Because I knew what it would come with, and I knew that it would make me uncomfortable, that I had to face something very real, in the mirror of like all of this emotional roller coaster of phases that's very real in society. You have to go through that to grow through that.
Right.
And the thing is, I didn't want to go through that. Right. So I never grew through that. That's what I had sort of in my mental back then. When I was younger, it was like, I don't want to deal with hard stuff. Yeah. It almost seemed like at times there was one foot in and one foot out, because you're never sure if it's not built on a solid foundation. Yeah. And when it's not built on a solid foundation, there's no aim of purpose or direction where you guys could be headed in. It's just, you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And okay, let's see what happens with this, but it's no really talk about a solidified future. There's not really a permanent sort of stake of vision for both of you guys together. It's more of like getting over whatever it was that I had, right, to sort of come into this relationship, trying to stay as comfortable and peaceful, trying to see what I can get out of you. And this is full transparency on how I was before.
Let me ask you this. What was it that you were trying to see what you could get out of them?
A feeling from them on an empty void that I've had since I was young. So not having that love from parents, from being in my life, not having a prime example of what a relationship or any of that should look like. So the hope and good news of what it could be if I would have ever attained such a relationship was never there. So it was like all of this empty voids of things that I wanted, but didn't necessarily know the prime example of how to have, and then also not getting it from my parents and people that I really care about, like in my fam, you know, because they had their issues and stuff like that, that finding it in a relationship, I felt like was sort of the best approach. And when I relied on them, I was automatically deemed to fail from the start because they are just a resource. They're not a source for me to heal whatever it was that I needed to feel upon my boy.
How can somebody who's in that position know, like, oh, this person really is just trying to fill a void? You know, what's a way for them to figure that out about you?
I guess I can say where a lot of mixed signals was involved. That's clearly evident. That's right off the bat.
I always say this too.
A lot of mixed signals right off the bat. Not really setting upon long-term goals or long-term commitments of anything.
Yep.
You know, kind of avoiding, you know, bringing you in sort of inner circles of family, friends, or things like that. Like, you know, you're there with them, but you're not making the effort to go, you know, above and beyond to have them create a relationship or connection with your people. You know what I'm saying? A closeness. Talking about my ex too much, or not talking about my ex at all, like avoiding it completely.
That was something that I thought about too. Because if you're still healing from the ex, it's either gonna be a certain subject that you're very like sensitive about, so you don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Or it's gonna be something that you're obsessed with because you can't get it out of your head, and that's you can't help but talk about it and vent about it. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? So that's like almost a signal, like, oh, this person hasn't gotten over their ex. They're still like, it's still a touchy subject. Yeah. That's a way almost for y'all to gauge whether or not somebody's still healing from a previous relationship, because if that ex is a touchy subject and they start to get emotional having those kind of conversations, like they start to get angry or frustrated, or they speak, you know, very emotionally, you know, about them, rather than like talking casually. Like, this is what my past experience that is like. If you talk about past things that are no longer affecting you, that conversation is going to be much calmer, right? It's just going to be, you know what I mean? But somebody who's still getting over it, it's almost like, because this is how I used to be when I was trying to get over the last girl that broke my heart. I couldn't get her out of my head. I was looking for people to talk to about it because I felt like I didn't really, I needed an outlet to like get it out, you know? So if there was an opportunity to bring it up, like I would jump on it, and it would make me emotional, you know what I mean? So that's a couple things to look out for. Yeah, because I think it definitely does come down to the point of when they are trying to block out sort of that emotional baggage from that relationship, to where also the investment of the interest in you and the new person isn't there as well, because now it's like, okay, they may just seek to crave the attention that you give them. Right. You know, maybe it's attention that they like, and you're giving them it, so it's just like, okay, cool. Like, I'm here. Like, not only that, another very confusing thing is they're in such a like broken state that they're going to show you certain levels of affection that they long for in that moment because they're so broken. The affection and that emotional kind of connection that they wanted to give, they're longing to give to the other person, but you're the person that's giving them the attention at that moment that can fill that void, so they're giving it to you. Yeah. Right? As an outlet, literally, for them to dump their emotions on, right? Yeah. So it's just being very conscious of that is important, because otherwise you're gonna interpret that as like, wow, he's very into me, you know what I mean? And he's really likes me. I've never had a guy or somebody like treat me like this before. But if he's in that broken state, you got to realize it can very well be genuine, but it's rooted from brokenness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll admit I've been guilty of that because, you know, like I did appreciate the person that was there. I did respect the person that was there for me. And a lot of those things that I displayed to her were coming out of that place of hurt. And it wasn't even like something that I was like super conscious of at the time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that feeling of like being loved and appreciated, or, you know, feeling like I had somebody, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm getting the attention from you and, you know, the affection from you or whatever. So I'm giving it to you back.
Yeah.
But really it's coming from a place of like needing to let those emotions out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like I didn't even realize it until, in my particular case, the ex came back into the situation. She peeped her head back in.
Yeah.
And immediately I started gravitating towards her. What does that tell you? That means I wasn't fully healed over her.
It was blinded affection.
Yeah. You know, and then I felt really shitty about the person I was currently with at that time, because you know, now I'm going to have a really tough conversation with her about where I'm truly at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the way I handled that situation was I was just fully transparent with her and let her know exactly where I was, why I was there, and what was going on.
Yeah.
And so that way she could understand as much as possible. It wasn't no text message conversation. This was the actual phone call conversation because we lived apart. And fully broke it down for her so that way she could understand. And she respected the hell out of me being so open about it. And I feel like that's the way a lot of us need to treat those types of situations, because otherwise they're going to be left confused and think that it was something wrong with them when it wasn't anything wrong with them to begin with. It was everything wrong with me in that particular case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to kind of paint a picture of like what that looks like, what that feels like, and we're trying to get to some places. And I know this doesn't sound the best, you know what I mean? We're exposing ourselves here, but we're doing it for the sake of y'all seeing a little bit more inside and understanding kind of what is really going on, and also trying to be able to spot it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to look for those red flags, so to speak, of like, oh, he's still healing. I should keep him at arm's length, or I shouldn't get emotionally attached to this person until they fully healed. You know what I mean? And this can go vice versa, right? Because I've been, you know, there's been girls who've gone through breakups, and, you know, they come to you, I'm sure, like you've experienced it at least once in your life, where I just broke up with my boyfriend. But what's your name? I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a rebound. You know, is that what this is? If they just broke up, you know, they're using you as a rebound. Don't get emotionally attached. You know what I mean? Don't look at a rebound like something that is going to be something real until you know they're fully healed, because they're straight up telling you, I just broke up with my boyfriend. I'm not looking for anything serious. I just got out of a long relationship or a toxic relationship or whatever. That's a dead giveaway right there. I just got out of a toxic relationship, meaning that shit fucked me up, right? You know, you're not at peace with it. That's why you're calling it and labeling it toxic. You're frustrated about it.
But ultimately, you're still thinking about that person as well, though.
Right. And that could very well be the case. And on the outside, it may not appear like you're overly, you know, emotional, but on the inside, you still may be, you know, a little bitter about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to be aware of this and, you know, just take it for exactly what it is. You've told me where you're at. Now I know. I'm going to proceed with caution. You know what I mean? Regardless of the emotions that they show back to you, you got to kind of realize the root of where it's coming from in some of these cases. You understand?
Yeah. And I think even for that person and the person who was dealing with that, it's tough. It's tough to really deal with those emotions head on. But you have to go through all of that. And I think just like if you are in a position listening to this, that you're going through that, it could be just fresh off a breakup, or you're trying to like search for, like, encourage that person or even yourself to look those emotions in the face and be like, I'm going to grow through this. I need to go through it. And when you accept that, when you come out on the other side, watch the person that you transform into.
Yeah, that's actually really true, and I could totally resonate with that statement, because looking back on that heartbreak now, there's one thing I'm super grateful for about going through that, is like the amount of emotional intelligence that I've gained through it, meaning the growth that I've gone through, and like the perspective, the understanding of myself and my emotions and all of that. I look at that as like such a positive thing now.
Yeah.
You know, that I really needed.
Yeah.
And now I almost look at it from a perspective of like, I needed that to be a part of who I am now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would not be able to have these types of conversations now and understand exactly where a person who's going through those emotions like that is coming from if I hadn't gone through it myself and processed all those emotions myself. You know what I mean? Even with my friendships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being there for a friend that I care about that might be going through something, and it's like you gotta almost embrace it, knowing that, yo, this is, you know, whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger. That's super valid in this case here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how you, honestly, when you think about it, those emotions, once you really face them and you process them, you know, fully process them, you get used to processing them. It's almost just like anything else. They don't affect you as heavily as the first time, right? Mm-hmm. This can be true about almost anything, right? When you experience a new emotion for the very first time, or a new experience for the very first time, all the emotions that come with it, your body and your mind it's intense, because you're trying to figure out how to process it.
Yeah.
You know, this could even go, you know, in terms of like, you know, being on stage for the first time and facing that stage fright. You know what I mean? Your body and your mind are figuring out how to process that. The nerves are crazy.
Yeah.
But then once it's processed it and it gets used to processing it, now you can just step on stage, no problem. And it doesn't affect you emotionally as much as it used to. So now when you start to face these same disappointments or heartbreaks or, you know, problems again, you're familiar with those emotions and are able to process them differently now this time. Instead of emotionally, you're processing them more like rationally and logically, and from a place of understanding and analyzing them in a way that you didn't before, and addressing them in a way that you didn't before, which is like a much more effective method of dealing with that than the emotional route, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll be the same narrative, the same outcome over and over again. You're trying to take it to this, and then you're wondering what is going on. Yeah. Because you haven't really faced yourself in the mirror with what you're supposed to be seeing. Yeah. You know,
I want to get deeper into this, because that's actually part of the conversation, processing those emotions and whatnot. That's part of the conversation of the bonus episode. Yeah. But what I do want to continue to touch on is the different scenarios in which somebody can be used as like an emotional Band-Aid, because it doesn't necessarily always have to be an emotional Band-Aid. There's also like the validation Band-Aid almost. I know you've mentioned in past episodes where you would seek relationships just simply to fulfill that void of validation and self-worth. Yeah. You know, because it, like culturally, that's almost like what you're supposed to do as a man, quote unquote. Yeah. And this is true, especially in young men, of like looking for relationships literally to fulfill that self-worth. And this can even be true in women, you know, feeling that pressure from society or cultural pressure or even family pressure of like needing to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship to eventually be married because of societal pressure, cultural pressure. And if you find one, you don't want to see the reasons it can't work. You only want to see the reasons it can work. Yeah. You know, because of that pressure.
Yeah, right? Man, I had what you would call destination addiction. Literally, like the mentality or mindset to where you look for a relationship or a person, right? Happiness in that. And when you're looking at happiness somewhere else, you can't have it where you're actually at. Yeah. And that's what I was doing. Yep. Constantly.
I talked about that on the last episode, how I did that as well, where I was looking for the fulfillment of that loneliness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Looking for the relationship because I was not happy.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a relationship to fulfill that happiness.
Yeah.
Because of the loneliness and the depression that I was going through at that time. And I thought that a relationship would help take care of that.
Yeah,
you know,
and it doesn't.
And it fucking back.
It doesn't.
Blew up right in my face.
Yo, I'm
Fuck
saying,
me up,
and we are not the only cases.
Yeah.
Many cases of people taking that same approach and literally a landmine.
Yep.
This blew up in my face.
It's no bueno.
You set yourself up for failure in the moment where you didn't want to address it when you had to go through the healing process for yourself. But looking at in that person or things or people. And that's the thing, it's like, you can't be doing that, you know?
Yeah, there's another method. We'll talk more about like dealing with those, basically the self-healing process, so you avoid trying to use somebody else as that emotional Band-Aid or, you know, validation Band-Aid, self-worth Band-Aid, whatever you want to call it, in the bonus episode. But one of the other situations that I see, and there was like actually a viral video that came across my news feed, and we got tagged in it a couple times, where it was a guy who was laying up in bed with a girl, and she wasn't looking at the camera, but he's looking at the camera, and the caption that he put is like, "How do I tell her that I lost feelings for her?" While she's all cozy right up on his chest, like you could tell she's like at home with him, and he's sitting there with her.
Yeah.
And this is a situation where some of these young guys, they get into relationships
that they're not ready for.
That they're not ready for, and also for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Really, just so that they can be in a relationship with what's in between your legs and shit, because you know. That's one of the things guys obsess over, especially younger men. Yeah. Is like having a constant fucking F buddy that they can, you know, be with. And then, you know, they're going to be in a relationship they're in a relationship with that. And you are just, you're the person attached to it that they're, you know. Yeah. That they're entertaining to continue to have that relationship.
It's almost like they want their cake and eat it too, because they don't want to deal with the emotions, but they want to deal with that.
Yeah, no, it's literally such a surface level type motherfucking relationship. You know what I mean? And it's almost, it's very common because I get asked questions all the time. Why does he flake on me? Why does he you know, ghost me and then come back? Yeah. You know, why does he always come back? And honestly, if he really liked you, then he would have never ghosted in the first place. So what does that tell me is that he wasn't coming back for you. He was coming back to reestablish a relationship with your coochie girl. Straight up.
I'd also like to add, man, like what are they being fed from other advice and platforms and sort of this, like...
This is the culture.
The culture standpoint of, you have to do these games and play these, and we talked about it before. Like in order to not really display a real, honest, raw approach of yourself with this person that you're supposed to be building a connection with. Yeah. But you're doing all this other stuff by listening to this toxic advice that, you know, isn't leading to anything. And now you're in a position like this. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's not fair.
Well, here's the thing. Honesty is the best policy. Yeah. Because if you are straight up with your intentions, because both men and women have hormones, have that want to get that itch scratch, and sometimes neither party wants a relationship. But when you act like you do want a relationship to get that, now you're fucking manipulating the other person. You're misleading them. And you're actually fucking damaging them. Yeah. Right? And guess what? Fucking, that shit's gonna come back around, brother. That shit will come back around, and that shit will happen to you. Or maybe it has happened to you, and now that's why you have that mentality, right? Or you don't know how to go about getting what you want out of a place of honesty and straight up intention. So you're going about it in the route of, you know, manipulating them instead of just being straight up. Like, honestly, I'm not looking for anything serious, and, you know, that's never going to be the case. Ladies, if a man tells you that, believe him, okay? If somebody tells you, I'm not looking for anything serious, believe them.
Yeah.
Okay? They're telling you straight up, regardless of what their actions say, if the words and the actions don't line up, don't fucking believe them. Don't believe them that the actions are genuine.
Right.
Right? Because he's saying, I don't want anything serious, and then he's treating you like his boo-boo and all this shit. That means what he's really trying to do is manipulate you to control the coochie, to keep that coochie attached to him. And that's straight up, right? Because he don't want you to go find that somewhere else. And he knows if he does certain things, let's think about this. If he does certain things, you're going to become attached to him.
And it's the minimal effort things too.
Exactly. He's going to give you just enough, bare minimum, breadcrumbing, enough to make you think that, oh, something can possibly turn out into something out of this.
Yeah.
What that really is, if you fucking take away all of the layers, is him trying to fucking control the coochie. Am I wrong?
I agree. Just like what you said. It's like, as long as he knows that he can still get that from you, he will do whatever it takes, even if he's not putting in or pouring in the effort that he's supposed to display a real, honest, sort of genuine interest in you.
Right.
And man, you see it so prominently everywhere. It's so prominent.
Y'all want to know how to discern whether or not that's his intention or not? You start putting out borders, and you start putting out boundaries, and you start seeing how he handles your no. See how he handles that no. Mm-hmm. Because if he starts to manipulate you and it starts to gaslight you, starts to get pissy about it, now his true colors are showing. Because if you really truly felt some type of way about me, you'd be understanding and respectful of the boundaries. A man who is in love, who really loves and respects a person, and you can attest to this, is gonna respect the boundaries. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That was true.
Whatever your wishes are.
That was true of you and your wife, right?
Oh yeah, and also
true, right?
Going above and beyond on things that you don't even need to say to him, on how much he shows and displays his respect to you. And a prime example is even, before how social media used to be a big thing and my relationship used to be so tender. And this is before, of course, things changed from how we were in a relationship without God and in our relationship with God. Right. That I started to have sort of the compelling motivation to do whatever it took to go above and beyond to heal whatever that was tender and broken in her sort of right of what she kind of worried about. And that was, social media was one thing, because before it was just like,
in what way?
What I'm saying? Like entertaining things. It was supposed to be entertaining, and it like created hurt in her and all this other stuff. And
meaning like replying to DMs from random girls, liking photos, commenting on
all
photos.
of that. And now it's just like, also posting her up on my story mainly. You know what I'm saying? Like not hiding her away like most guys would do in relationships nowadays or marriage, where they don't want to show their spouse because they still want to appear some sort of type of way or single. So now it was just like, okay, I knew that. And now let me show you and give you the grace to know that I am going to go out my way. You don't even have to tell me. Let me post as much as possible on you on my story. Let me show you. Let me build that trust continually without you having to share anything with me. Right. To display that respect for you.
Right. That was after she gave you basically the option to go this way or that way. If you go back and watch our last episode, when she said, "Oh, I see you going this way. I thought we were going that way." Yeah. And then you guys solidified what this was, and then she brought up all those concerns and whatnot, which is part of this is what those concerns were. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You used your social media to show her, like, no, I'm serious. Yeah. And when he is serious, that's some of the things that you'll do.
Oh yeah, because it's not me saying anything to you. It's me showing
the
completely.
Actions are speaking louder than the words.
Yeah. Now you see what I'm doing, the root and all this other stuff, and it's just like, it's not really matching up. No, I'm gonna show that it is matching up, that I'm gonna replace the words with action instead of action with the words.
Right. See, Watch his actions. Don't just listen to his words. Watch his actions. And they got to be consistent. There's got to be, substance there, right? None of that bare minimum shit.
No breadcrumbing.
No breadcrumbing, you feel?
None of that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just a few things to kind of look out for is if somebody just got out of a recent breakup, that healing process doesn't happen right away.
No.
Especially if it was a relationship that was something deep for them or a long-term relationship in some way.
Yeah.
If they just got out of a divorce or a breakup, that healing process can take anywhere from like 3 months to 6 months to a year in some cases. I mean, it took me over a year to fully heal.
Yeah.
After that,
I agree.
So see how the other person kind of like feels about that breakup to be able to discern whether or not they're at peace with it or if it's still like a sensitive subject. That's another kind of key component to look out for. Understand also what type of pressure is being put on them for a relationship. Or if there's like a sense of loneliness that they're trying to fulfill, you want to kind of try to discern that. Are they somebody who just never likes being alone? You know what I mean? That may be a clear tell sign.
Or likes attention.
Right, that they're looking for somebody just to fulfill that loneliness. So now you got to take like a realistic view at this. Is like, what is this relationship between me and you, or you and this loneliness? You know what I mean? That I'm fulfilling and for you. Like, what's going on here? Am I just like the same way that guys would, be in a relationship to try to get some coochie? You replace coochie with loneliness. He's trying to get his nut and you're trying to fulfill that loneliness. It's like either both scenarios, no bueno. You know what I mean? Because then you're not in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship with the person. You're in a relationship for the sake of fulfilling that need or that void or whatever it is that you have. And that's a no bueno.
Right.
No
Don't compromise your values just to get your needs met.
That's right. That's motherfucking right. Shit.
And just being aware on like, how are you coping with this whole healing process? And I think that's what we're going to go into like next when we go into our bonus episode. But that's crucial. It's so important. That it's not pertinent off of a new relationship that nothing was ever dealt with. And now you're bringing that emotional baggage into that relationship.
We'll give you guys some of the things that has worked for us. I know I've got a lot of like, I made a lot of realizations about like, oh, this actually helped me get over it. And this helped me, like this perspective, this mindset shift helped me like look at it a different way. And there are certain things, that internal processing to help get over it as well. If you're a person in that position, I always say it's just like the same advice that I give to the fellas. Honesty is the best policy. Let the other person know where you're at, why you're there, how you got there. Like, this goes back to the last episode that we did about being just open with where you're at, why you're there, how you got there. You know what I mean? Because if you're at peace with your vulnerabilities, then they can never be used against you. Okay, so that's like step one, is coming to peace with some of those quote unquote vulnerabilities, whether that's loneliness or something you're insecure about or anything like that. When you're at peace with them, they're no longer vulnerabilities. They become truths. And truths aren't emotional things. They're just, this is what it is. Right?
I will always set you free.
You cannot use it against me in any way, because I've already processed it. I've already come to peace with it. And now I can share it in a way that's going to help whoever's around me understand me better and deal with me better. And then we can actually build a stronger connection because it, in a way, encourages them to also get to that same place.
That's what I was going to say, seeing if it's reciprocated.
Similar to what your wife did with you, like we described in the last episode. You know what I mean? So we're going to get deeper into that right now in the bonus episode. So ladies and gentlemen, just in case you weren't not aware, we got this whole members area thing going on. This shit is popping off. We're getting a little community going on.
Yes, we are.
I love it. I love to see. If you're on YouTube, you'll notice little crowns next to everybody's name. Yo, fucking go off in the comment section if you're part of the members area.
Yeah, just a
Roll
bunch of
call.
queens. That's what it is.
Queens and kings, man. We got a few fellas in there too, man.
Oh, respect.
All
respect.
the content, because every week that we come out with an episode, we also come out with a bonus episode as a show of appreciation for everybody who's supporting the boys. And not only that, we do exclusive lives in there. There's an exclusive members only chat. You know, you guys get to be a part of like what topics we do next and whatnot. So really dope little community that we're building up in there. So I definitely encourage anybody who's interested in becoming a part of that community to check out the link in the description.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into that bonus episode. We want to thank y'all for being here. Hopefully y'all took something valuable out of this episode. If you do feel like there's something in here that can help somebody else out who may be dealing with something similar to what we talked about, please feel free to share that with them so that way they can, you know, have a different perspective and an enlightened perspective as well. Not only that, drop some comments in the comment section letting us know if there's anything you can relate to, if there's any alternative scenarios or insight and perspective, insightful perspective that could help somebody else in the comment section. We digest all of it, and it can more likely than not help somebody else out in the comment section as well. So we love seeing y'all interact with each other. That shit is dope. So we appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna see y'all in the bonus episode. If not, we will see you later. Peace.
In the bonus episode.
And there's nothing you can do to fix that man. So ladies, actually this is a really strong point I want to make. Do not think that you're going to be the one to heal them. First off,